Okay, so that was the end of that section. Let's just run through what we learned here. Okay, so first of all, we sourced textures on textures.com, which is a superb website. If you haven't seen it before, then that's a really useful website for all sorts of textures. And of course, you don't have to use them. You can go out and take your own pictures, or you can create them in some other way. So it's entirely up to you. But we used it and used it successfully, and I hope you had a good experience with that. So, and then we prepared them and edited them in our art application. I use Photoshop, but you can use whatever application you want. All we did was take out any blemishes, take out any obvious repetition that might show up if you see your texture spread across a big distance. So that was really useful. And then we authored them in Bitmap to Material, a really useful package for creating PBR textures from existing bitmaps and textures. So a nice tool there you learnt, which is quite good. It's very straightforward. Didn't take much to learn that, really. And then we authored the smoothness channel. We copied our roughness that B2M created, and we copied it into our alpha channel of our albedo, which is quite important for textures, for terrain textures in Unity. That's just how Unity handles it. So, like I said before, PBR can be quite confusing, and there's lots of different ways they use these maps and ways that they try and save memory. And copying the roughness into the alpha channel is one way of doing that, because it's quite rare you would want to use alpha in your terrain texture because it doesn't need it. And then we applied them to the terrain in Unity for a really superb result. We've got 4 layers, and I think going forward I may add another layer or another 2 layers perhaps. I might add a smoothness layer, sort of like a trodden earth layer, so that we can define paths quite nicely. And I might add a rock layer, so I can have rocks sticking out the ground. But you can add whatever you like, whatever your scene requires. You can add the layers, and I've shown you how to paint the layers now, so you can have whatever you want showing through. So I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions about this section, please leave it in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you in the next section.